So you guys are based in North Carolina?
Yes.
Cool. Um, yeah, so I work with Tech Cocktail. We're based in Las Vegas actually, but I'm personally in Toronto at the moment. So um, I've talked to a couple sort of young developers before, and I thought it'd be cool to chat with you also.
Thank you.
Sure. So what was I going to say? Let's see. So I usually let me see. I do sort of a Q&A format, so it'll be like on the side, it'll be like my question and then your answer and etc. So maybe do you want to just start off by telling me like how you got into developing?
Yeah, when I was younger, I would play with Legos and Kinects, and I would build the set originally, and then I would take it down and rebuild it without using the directions to try to make it better. And then I got into computer games like Minecraft, and then after a while I got bored of it and wanted to add more things to it, so I learned how to make mods. And then that led into me wanting to learn how to make games for myself. And then just a couple of weeks ago, I watched a video on YouTube that had a bunch of famous people with some quotes, and it was very inspirational. And that's when I started Spec, which was the game that I had just released on the Play Store.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Cool. So how did you actually learn to code?
Well, I learned from other people's videos. I would follow along and use some ideas from them, and then I would try to change those ways and make it fit my own needs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Cool. So you do, what language do you do?
I use Java.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Why do you think, I think a lot of, young people would kind of see games and think they're really cool, but not imagine they could possibly learn how to develop a game. Is there something about your personality, or what is it, what made you think that you could actually do it yourself?
Well, I watched a lot of other people do it and thought that it would be really cool if I could do it. So I just looked up a couple videos and read some books and learned how to use the language itself for making games.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So when did you start learning?
When I was 9 or 10.
Okay, cool. Let's see. And then for Spec, did you come up with that idea yourself, or where did that come from?
I watched a video on YouTube and saw like a bunch of dots going across the screen, and I thought it'd be cool to recreate in my own way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Cool. And you're working on other games as well?
Yeah, I'm working on getting ideas for the next game because I can't really think of them very well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So what's like the hardest part about coding?
I'd say the hardest part is actually figuring out how to do what you want to do. And since there are so many resources out there, you can use those to help you figure out how to do what you want to do. And another problem for me is that I don't have access to any Apple devices or computers, so I can't gain as much popularity as someone else could because the Apple App Store is so popular and I don't have access to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see, what about like what's your favorite part about coding?
My favorite part about coding would be actually coding the games themselves because I like the puzzle aspect of it, sort of, and having to figure out how to do the stuff that I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get like really frustrated or stuck or anything?
Yeah, sometimes I get frustrated and I can't figure out how to do something. And it'll take like probably 2 days to finally figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What about, is there anything that surprised you about coding? Is it different from what you expected?
And probably what surprised me was how easy it is for someone to do this, because there are so many resources out there that people can use today to do what they want with programming. And also that I was actually able to accomplish something big by putting an app on a Play Store for other people to get.
Yeah. What about, so I don't know if Drake is there. Do you guys have any like numbers that you're releasing on the app, or I know it's pretty recent.
Oh, any downloads?
Yeah, things like that.
The Play Store is actually pretty unreliable for statistics and reporting regularly, so we actually released the app under a week ago, so we're not actually
okay.
sure how many downloads have happened yet.
Okay, cool. So let's see. Do you like what do your parents and your friends think? Do you tell them about this?
Well, when I tell them, they always think I'm smart and that I'm the benefit so much off being able to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you tell your friends as well?
Yeah. And then I also tell some of my teachers at school.
Mm-hmm. What do they think?
They think, or one of them, my computer teacher, thinks that I'm going to be the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates.
Awesome. So you have a computer class in school?
Yeah.
What is it? What kind of class is it?
It's computer technology and innovation, I think.
What do you learn?
We learn how to use like proper keyboarding techniques and how to use the Microsoft Office programs.
Okay, so no coding, I guess.
No.
Obviously. What was I gonna say? Okay, cool. Do you want to do this later? Do you want to become the next Steve Jobs? Or do you have any plans?
Yeah, I want to bring this as far as I could bring it, and then to do that I would take computer courses in college and try to learn more on how to do this.
Do you have any? I don't know. Do you have any like if other young developers were reading this? Is there anything you'd want to tell them or any advice you have for them?
That they should have a lot of time set forth, and that they should have a good business partner that can handle like advertising and social networking things for your apps or games, and so then you can just do what you want, which is making the games, but they can do what they like, which is actually advertising them.
Makes sense. What's your schedule like? When do you code?
Well, I normally wake up and then just get on the computer right away, and then I'll probably be on for about 2 hours actually programming, and then the rest is watching videos to get more ideas for the next game.
So that's weekends, I guess?
Weekends.
And for weekends...
No, it wasn't.
For weekends, I on all day probably.
Okay, so you do it before school or during the week?
I do it after school.
Oh, after school. Okay. Alright. Let me see what else. I don't know, anything else that you want to share or like anything else that we should know about the company?
Not really.
Alright. Drake, anything else that like would be relevant to our readers for the piece?
Yeah, I think probably the hardest part for the business about developing apps is gaining popularity, because there's over over 750 million apps on the Play Store, and so standing out from the rest is probably the biggest challenge because we've had a hard time getting downloads. Even
Yeah.
though we posted on social media and tried to get coverage from other websites, it's pretty hard to gain popularity.
Makes sense. How did you guys meet?
I'm actually dating Jonathan's sister.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. And what does your sister think about this?
She thinks that he's pretty smart, which is true.
That's so funny. So Drake, how did you was this you wanted to do a company and you were looking for someone to do it with, or where were you when you guys in terms of your ideas when you guys met?
Well, I actually started developing websites a few years ago, and so I came over and saw Jonathan making a game one day and told him he should make it into an app. So it was spec, and he started making it into the app. And so I told him that we could work together. I would develop him a website and market the app for him, and he could just focus solely on coding so that we could both do what we enjoyed. So he's basically responsible for all the coding, and I'm responsible for the logistics of the business, like marketing, advertising, social media management, and other things like that.
Gotcha. Cool. And are you in college or?
I'm a senior in high school.
Oh, okay. Cool. You're 19, I think I saw.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. And then I guess I'm trying to think of more things people would like to know. How often do you guys sort of meet up, or I assume you don't have an office or anything, so.
No, we see each other on a daily basis. So he talks to me about his ideas and things, and I tell him about stuff that's going on with the business and how the website's progressing and things like that.
Cool. And what impressed you most about Jonathan when you heard about him programming?
Well, back when he was 10, I saw him programming, and even though he was taking a lot of things from tutorials, I thought it was still pretty amazing that somebody that young could program a game already, because I had dabbled in programming a little bit and learned some of the basics, and I knew it would take hours and hours for me to learn the stuff that he was able to do, so I was really impressed with the fact that he was able to learn how to code and how to code well at such a young age.